tell him. I don't know. I'm good at 8, man. I'm good at 8. I think
so. Lyles, you in there? Well, you made the cut, Noah.
Just because I'd like to beat him.
After months of bold talk and crazy comparisons, the king of sprinting, Usain Bolt, has finally shut Noah Lyles up. The track legend has long been taunted by Lyles, whose major goal is to outrun Bolt. How did he do it? Let's get into it.
It was up to me, bro. Like, I remember when he just came out. And he said, I'll never forget. And he was like, when they asked.
For years, Bolt had stayed silent while young runners tried to measure themselves against his records. But Lyles has never been one to whisper his dreams. He is confident, outspoken, and full of personality. The more he talked about surpassing Bolt, the louder the noise became, until eventually even Bolt had to respond. But to truly understand the intensity of this rivalry, one must go back to the summer of 2009 in Berlin.
Ascended the sport of athletics, thrilling the whole world with his achievements in Beijing. 3 gold medals.
That was the year Bolt became more than a champion. He became a legend. The stadium that day was electric, the anticipation unbearable. When the gun fired, Bolt exploded down the straight and the world held its breath. The clock stopped at 9.58 seconds. Every new subscriber is basically a raffle ticket. Subscribe and boom, you're entered. No one could believe what they had just witnessed. It was as if a new law of physics had been written. Just a few days later, he did it again in the 200 meters, finishing in 19.19 seconds. Those numbers became immortal, etched not just in record books, but in human memory.
Perfect start by Daniel Bailey. Usain Bolt, though, getting into his running. Here he comes. Usain Bolt, challenged by Tyson Gay. Usain Bolt, 2 clear meters. Tyson Gay in second.
Since then, countless athletes have tried to break them. Every generation has produced its share of talented sprinters with new techniques, advanced training, and improved equipment. Yet Bolt's times have remained untouched. They have survived an era of rapid innovation, proving that sometimes perfection really does exist. His dominance stretched across 3 Olympic Games, where he turned running into an art form. He did not just win races, he turned them into moments of magic. His celebrations, his joy, his ease under pressure made him a global icon. The world did not just watch him, it adored him. Bolt's success was not a stroke of luck. He combined natural athleticism with an extraordinary sense of showmanship and confidence. He never seemed nervous. The bigger the stage, the brighter he shone. When he lined up at the starting blocks, there was a quiet certainty that something unforgettable was about to happen. For nearly 10 years, he ruled the track, and no one could touch him even after he retired. His name continued to define speed itself. But every story needs a challenger, and that challenger came wearing confidence like armor. Noah Lyles burst onto the scene, ready to take the sport somewhere new. With colorful hair, bold statements, and unstoppable enthusiasm, Lyles became the face of modern sprinting. He brought back the entertainment factor, something the sport had missed since Bolt's departure.
Quest for greatness is up and running for Noah Lyles, but he's got a little bit to do here. Great running from Maswanganyi and Louis Hinchcliffe.
Lyles proved he was more than talk when he ran 19.32 seconds in the 200 meters in 2022. It was the fastest time since Bolt and fellow Jamaican Johan Blake had redefined the event a decade earlier, and it didn't take long before analysts began to whisper that maybe, just maybe, Lyles was the one who could finally challenge those sacred records. His performance was a declaration that the world had a new contender, and he was not afraid to aim for history.
2. He has smashed his person.
Still, numbers have a cruel way of putting things into perspective. While Lyles' 200-meter time brought him within touching distance of Bolt's 19.19, his 100-meter performances have not come close. His best time, 9.89 seconds, is impressive but still far from Bolt's mark. In sprinting, every hundredth of a second counts, and those 3/10 between them represent an enormous gap. Yet what keeps people watching Lyles is not just his times, but his mindset. He refuses to be intimidated by history.
Into life. Great start from Seville. He heads it. It's taken Lyles a little while to get into his running.
That refusal has made him both admired and criticized. Some see him as the future of the sport, a necessary burst of energy in an era desperate for new stars. Others see him as disrespectful, believing he speaks too soon and too loudly about surpassing someone who redefined what fast means. The tension between those views reached its peak when Bolt addressed Lyles directly. His response was measured but firm, a reminder that the crown of sprinting is not something you claim with words, but with times on the clock. The moment Bolt spoke, fans took sides. Social media erupted with opinions. Some accused Lyles of arrogance, saying that Bolt's records should be treated like sacred relics. Others defended him, arguing that every generation needs dreamers bold enough to challenge the impossible. Even retired legends weighed in, emphasizing that confidence is necessary but must be backed by performance. What made this so captivating was how human it all felt. A young man believing he can rewrite history and an older champion reminding the world what it takes to do so.
Let's just say right after you ran 10:03, right? Like now your motivation is to get into the 100. Did you have people that
on the track, their differences are fascinating. Bolt, with his towering frame, moved with a combination of power and elegance that seemed impossible for his size. His stride was longer than anyone's in history, nearly 3 meters per step, allowing him to cover 100 meters in just 41 strides. Most elite sprinters need at least 4 more, yet somehow, despite his height, he maintained remarkable stride frequency. He was not supposed to move that fast, but he did, again and again.
Roll down the outside, but keep an eye on the clock here for Noah Lyles, 19.60. Wow, Noah Lyles shows he is fit and firing.
Lyles, however, is built differently. He is shorter, compact, and precise. His start is sharper, his drive phase efficient, his posture almost flawless. He runs like a machine tuned for perfection. Where Bolt was raw electricity, Lyles has a smooth rhythm. His technique reflects hours of meticulous work. There is no wasted movement, no imbalance. Watching him run feels like watching poetry set to motion.
16 of the world's elite sprinters competed in heats on the streets.
But Bolt's records were not made only of biomechanics. They were also a product of perfect timing and conditions. In Berlin, the weather, wind, and humidity created ideal circumstances. Bolt was at his absolute physical and mental peak. Everything clicked. Lyles will have to replicate that same harmony to stand a chance at breaking those times. At 10,000 subscribers, one of you is getting a brand new iPad, but only subscribers get picked. Don't be the one who misses out. Experts point out that the human body may already be nearing its speed limit. Reaction time, muscle contraction, and neural response can only improve so much. That means beating Bolt's marks might require something beyond science, perhaps luck, destiny, or the kind of once-in-a-lifetime alignment that cannot be engineered. Yet Lyles seems undeterred. What separates him from others is not just ability, but mentality. He has been open about the struggles that nearly ended his career, injuries, mental fatigue, and moments of doubt. But each setback only made him more determined. His comeback has been remarkable. Winning multiple world titles in the 200 meters has proved that his confidence is not empty talk. It is a belief earned through resilience. Every time he steps on the track, he brings with him the energy of a man who has fought to stay there.
Lyles leading them on, they're trying to come back at him. Guliev and Quinones, Guliev moving through strongly, Ulrich finishes well, but that from Lyles.
This rivalry is not only physical, but also psychological. Bolt always treated pressure as a game. His smile, his dancing, his ease, it was his way of disarming the moment. Lyles, in contrast, wears his emotions openly. He talks about anxiety, about expectations, about the need to balance confidence with humility. That honesty makes him relatable. He runs not just for medals, but for meaning. And maybe that is what modern fans connect with most.
I didn't have fun with. I think that was the biggest thing. It wasn't fun. It was a hard situation, but I knew that I could get through.
The ongoing back and forth between these two generations has done something beautiful for the sport. It has made people care again. Bolt's retirement left a vacuum, and Lyles has filled it with charisma and passion. Their contrast, the effortless king and the relentless challenger, has reignited the conversation about what greatness looks like. It is not just a debate about records, it is about the evolution of athletes, the boundaries of human potential, and the courage to believe that even legends can be surpassed.
Then it becomes a point of you're gonna put them on this pedestal that you want.
Every time Lyles lines up for a race now, it feels like the world is watching for more than just victory. They are watching to see how close he gets to Bolt's ghost. Every 1/10 of a second he shaves off and becomes a headline. Every celebration becomes a statement. Whether he means to or not, he is carrying the burden of the entire sport's expectations. And perhaps that is exactly what the track world needs. A story big enough to remind us why we fell in love with sprinting in the first place. The truth, however, is that Bolt's records might never be broken. They belong to a moment in time that may never come again, but the pursuit itself is what keeps the flame alive. Lyles represents the belief that boundaries are meant to be tested. He might not reach Bolt's numbers, but he is giving the world a reason to dream again. His fire is a reflection of Bolt's own from years ago. Both men share the same DNA of defiance, the same refusal to settle. So perhaps when Bolt told him to stop talking, it was not anger, but acknowledgement. It was the kind of challenge only a true champion can give to another, because deep down, Bolt understands that every empire needs someone brave enough to try to overthrow it. That is how legacies endure, not by silence, but by competition. As things stand, Bolt remains the undisputed king of speed. His record still casts a long shadow over every sprinter who dares to chase them, yet in that shadow stands Noah Lyles, determined to prove that belief can bend history. Every race between now and the next Olympics feels like a step toward destiny, and even if he never breaks those legendary times, he will have achieved something extraordinary. He brought the fire back.
In the world of athletics, there's a name that reverberates.
In the end, Bolt may have told Lyles to quiet down, but perhaps that was his way of saying, show me. And if history has taught us anything, it is that the greatest athletes do not stop when told to. They listen, they train, and then they run faster. And we've come to the end of today's video. Thank you for watching till the end. What do you think about this huge rivalry between Bolt and Lyles? Tell us in the comments. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe, and we'll see you in our next video.